everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pageant Community Radio, a show to promote diversity and to give people a voice. And today I'm very lucky because we have got the wonderful Harriet Lane, who is director of the Crown Coach and Miss International UK. Hello, Harriet.
Hi, it's so excited to be on as well, being back doing something pageant related.
Woo. Oh my goodness, you're doing pageant stuff all the time.
That's really true, but it's nice to really talk about it casually because it feels like so much of my coach. And to be fair, I do talk about pageants all the time, but it's nice just to have that chilled environment, really talking about just fun side.
So let's kick off then. Let's talk about, how you even started in pageants.
Well, this is now going back 8 years ago. I don't know where the time has gone. It just feels like still pageant newbie. Totally not now, and it's been an absolute whirlwind. But me getting started into it is actually my mum entering me. I just started modeling. I was 6 feet tall pretty much by the age of 12, and that was insanely tall for my age. I was actually a foot taller than the average. I was starting losing a bit of confidence within that, but also discovering some new talent within modeling. I was starting to do photo shoots, and all of a sudden, unfortunately, I got myself burnt. I spilled gravy on myself, and as silly as it sounds, I actually need surgeries. So don't mess with gravy, guys, especially Marks and Spencer's. It is lethal. But anyway, from that point though, I was so self-conscious. I thought modeling was over for me. Having this giant scar, skin grafts, still to this day I have a very cute square scar on my hip and a little mark down my calf as well. And it's a little bit of a story of why I started pageantry. But my mom actually searched model competitions. Pageantry then came up and she was like, let's go for it. We're a bit skeptical. I was ready to walk into Tattles and Tiaras, and I was here for it, and realizing it was the complete opposite. I am today, 8 years on, 3 national titles and a 4th runner-up as well.
Oh my goodness. We're going to get onto all these because I need everything, all the details. But so when was your first pageant, and tell us your feelings and your development through that first pageant?
So first pageant was back in 2013 was actual year I competed, and this was a Miss Junior Teen Great Britain. This is the first one I entered. I was pretty nervous going into it, but also excited that I believe that I didn't have the quite feeling of pageantry. I thought you just win a crown, that was it, move on to the next one, again, building up all those sashes. But beforehand, I was definitely a hard worker straight away. I got really involved in my community. For my first pageant, I done 110 appearances. I was really dedicated to the system. I managed to fundraise £5,000 as well, and that was pretty much in one go. I went all out on everything. Going into the pageant, I done a bit of practice and expecting a little bit be more model kind of side of things. However, my interview, I feel like Holly should come forward at some point and talk about my interview. Holly Perry was actually sat there, and it was amusing. They gave me, Holly did try and push me and say, have you done some charity work? And I went, oh, no. And it was just 13-year-old me at that time. I was young, and I was just like, yeah, I done a bit. And not proud that I raised the most money in the division. Seeing and recognizing £5,000 was something to be really proud of, and to talk about that I had not discovered the talent yet to, this is your moment to sell yourself as a winner. This is your 3-minute chance to go, I should win this competition because, and I didn't prepare any of that. I never experienced anything quite like it, but I had the most amazing experience, and somehow placed top 8. I was actually just looking before a really funny photo of me in interview. Let me get it up. It's worth it. How I looked. It would be a bit of a flip of the camera, but I promise you, it's worth every second. Let's see if I can.
It's like a show.
Yeah, show and tell. There we go.
Oh,
look at that.
My goodness. Oh, hello.
It's quite a look.
It's like baby Harriet.
It really is. Fresh face, pink hairnet on, ready for my interview, ready for the best experience and the journey of a lifetime. But my experience going in, I was just so excited. And there's not as much as the friendship side of things as I don't think was then. I got a lot of friends out of it beforehand, but not the same level as I do now, which is, I think the pageant community is coming so much more together, which I absolutely love.
Yeah, it is amazing. And do you think, you must think this, you've been doing them for quite a long time, pageants have changed so much, from back then when you're standing there and you're in your shorts and stuff, and obviously your first experience, my first experience honestly was Miss Universe Aryana years and years ago, and I rocked up in a Debenhams evening wear dress, which was purple, by the way, which is great, the sash, but did not look good, and literally had no idea what I was doing. And you just think, you go in and you go, yeah, Yeah, I don't know how I placed in top three at all, but I've talked to Paula about that one. It was amazing. And then you get the bug and then that's it. But what I was going to say is, so we first met at the National Diversity Awards in 2016, I believe, at the Liverpool Anglican Theatre. I can never say that. Anglican Cathedral, and you were proper baby face, the straight hair we were talking about before. I remember we didn't know anyone, and I just saw you and you saw me, and it was like sash. We both had sashes on, and I was Miss British Empire I was competing in at the time, and then that's when I met you and Mama Lane, and that was ages ago.
Yeah, that might have been like 4, maybe even 5. I was Miss Junior Teen Great Britain then. That was
Yes.
when I came that time. So yeah, that was literally ages ago. That would have been like 2015.
So they were like your really good foundations. And then take us on to your internationals, you know, let us know what they were like. So obviously you went to Galaxy first. What was that like?
So Galaxy, obviously, I came back twice as well for that national pageant. That I did not win that one straight after Miss Teen Great Britain. I think a lot of people forget with me as well that the times that I've actually not come away with the crown, that people see me as like, oh, Harriet's like won like 3 nationals. And I want sometimes people to know that it didn't just happen. Like I didn't walk into every single one and just win that crown. It was definitely for me about development and also coming back for something that I was not ready in that moment of time. So having that experience of going, you know, straight out Miss Junior Teen Great Britain into a teen pageant, which felt at that time such a huge leap for me. Creeping into swimwear, that was totally new experience for me, such an empowering moment and gave me so much confidence within my body. Coming back, winning Miss Teen Galaxy England, then went off to, we had the number 10 year, we had a huge pack, had a lot of queens that year. And you know, it was absolutely incredible experience having all the sisterhood. I got so close with the girls out there in Orlando. It was, I think the whole experience was 5 days of the pageant. I could be wrong. It just felt like I wasn't sleeping. I was literally, every time I was due on the day, the other girls were sleeping, I was off to Disneyland. I did not care like what. I stayed home in the hotel at like 3 a.m. ready to get 6 a.m. And I remember actually, I think one of the girls was getting up to get the hair and makeup, and I was like creeping back in the room at the villa.
That sounds like me.
I was just like, sorry if I wake anyone, like the next day. The whole experience though, that I went in there with the values of going, I want to make as many friends as possible, and literally had the most incredible time making the closest of friends. And then you'll probably know after that I handed over, and I thought I was going to give myself a year or 2 off pageantry, and I was pretty set on that. Even going into handing over, I was like, I'm just not ready for that. It's been a hell of a year. That my mum was really sick during my reign, and I felt like I didn't not give as much, that I definitely live up to the expectation of doing as many appearances as possible. I didn't quite have the same value at that time. My interest had came out of it. There was bigger priorities in my life at that time. And I remember, I think it was swimwear, and you know how you walk off inside some years because it's raining. And I remember going to my mum, we're doing Miss International, we're doing Power Pageant, it's happening. And I didn't even finish handing over. It's happening right now. And pretty much my mum, as I'm like handing over, like getting out the application, like ready to go.
Oh my goodness, that is like instant.
Yeah, talk about instant.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so good. And then you won international.
Yeah, then I went on to international, and quite honestly, the real reason that I went into like Power Pageant, that this new pageant girl crown actually came out, and this actually really struck me my interest. This was the pure reason why I entered Power Pageant, as I really see myself as who embodies everything a pageant girl should be: someone who gets involved in their community, charity work, being someone who has purpose within this like society, even the country. And as you can see by the photos, I'm actually clapping when my name's called, looking for whoever girl it was, seeing a reaction. I'm sorry, it's you, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, the face is hilarious. And yes, 12 weeks later I was off to Tokyo for a month.
So you went there for a whole month?
I went there for a whole month. The actual competition ran for 3 weeks. We already booked a holiday afterwards anyway, of going, we've got this amazing opportunity. You don't really get to go like Japan many times in your life really on the moment. And we did book on an extra week. However, top 5 do get to stay on for another week and do loads of different activities like with the winner, and like have an amazing experience. So it is definitely a marathon of a pageant. If you think you're tired after a Galaxy weekend, you don't know what it's like at Miss International. You have not experienced a pageant. If I was to move to somewhere else in the world, I would 100% go to Japan. That much like seeing and being able to go to some really like sacred like shrines and different temples as well out there, that there was so much.
Came fourth runner-up in the international, which is amazing. The international of international, which is just so funny. And so you're obviously a role model in the pageant community, and obviously to a lot of women. So you decided to start coaching people to obviously impart your wisdom from the internationals and everything you've learned over the years. So what is it about coaching, and why did you go into it?
Coaching for me, like I started literally at local charity pageants from actually 15. I was helping some of the younger girls, and it was just charity book it out. And that was kind of just the situation at the time. And I remember the requests as well. Something I thought about doing as well, but in Indonesia, that I got then the coaching to then transfer those skills. This is coming off. They transfer those skills over to other people. There's one skill actually being able to learn it yourself, but then obviously give it to other people. So I had that in mind going out to Indonesia, then coming back, and I was overwhelmed by my inbox. Obviously come fourth runner up, like there was so many messages, but then as soon as like a couple of weeks later, it's like, are you thinking about doing coaching? And I was building the profile of the Crown Coach, and that time I decided to launch it. And I just obviously to take things online to carry forward some of the coaching, and I have now like got so many different like girls involved in the pageant world. Excited, even like 120 members actually on my website who are involved with my pageant community, which is growing still. I've got so many different requests even today, so thank you for everyone who keeps joining on my website.
Yeah, well, I mean, well done. You've obviously started a business and you're helping loads of pageant girls, which is amazing. Now the question that I want to ask you, which I'm hoping other people want to know, is that it for pageants? It can't be. Have you got anyone lined up at some point?
But yes, 100%. Like I cannot wait to get back out into the pageant world, get competing again. As still only 19, I am dying to get back out there still. Achieving this so young at 18, winning this title. However, Miss International for me was also a dream crown. This like is surreal to me to have this sash. With any pageant I do, my full focus is on this sash and title. But once this reign is over in July time, when I hand over to the lucky new Miss International UK, then my time will be to refocus on what I'm doing next.
So obviously Pageant Community Radio is about raising awareness about diversity, speaking to so many diverse women in the pageant community and giving them a voice. What would you say, Harriet, is important about having diversity in pageantry?
I think it's really important because everyone has to stand from a different background. And this is about empowering and encouraging people from whatever reason that you might be coming from. And being diverse, I think for me, is definitely something in my height. To just empower and let other girls know, and it might not even be related to height, if just knowing that you don't have to fit a stereotype that is seen out there, that if you put your mind to something, you can do it. We are being a role model for whatever diversity that we're going in. We all have our diverse reasons, and we are representing that. It's all about getting ready for the future generations, for people around you who might be the same age as you, going, if she can do it, I can do it too. And I think that's the importance of it, and especially within women, showing each other that, yes, build each other up, because there's not many. I'm going to class pageantry as like a sport competition. There's not many that absolutely empower each other. And the more diversity we have within pageantry, the more we'll show that it's not a stereotypical thing. It is not just about beauty. It's about actually having purpose within society, having your community, and trying to elevate what we are doing.
So thank you so much for obviously being part of Pageant Community Radio. It's amazing. But how can we all get in touch with you? Just remind everyone of your socials and Crown Coach.
Instagram, my main one is at Harriet, and you might notice on this video my Harriet is spelled a little bit different. It's HARRIOTTE_ at the Crown Coach is where you'll find me best. And if you do want to get in contact, message me there. I do have an email as well, and you'll see my website as well, which is crowncoach.online. We have a nice fancy website. Do join in, because we would love to help you, and it's just free community, and also free posts and coaching advice as well, because who doesn't love free stuff, and especially about pageants.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for being part of Pageant Community Radio, sharing your international, your national titles and experience, and just taking part, which is really, really kind. But thank you so much, and lots of love, everyone.
Thank you so much.